for some men to join me? Is it difficult?
Impossible.
How many you got so far?
Dang it, I'm good.
We've got 1 day to plan.
Well, let's do a half day of drinking.
The Magnificent Seven, rated PG-13.
And a partridge in a pear tree. Welcome to Time About the Movies, everybody. I don't know what that intro was all about, but we have got 6 movies to take a look at over the course of 2 weekends. We're wrapping up September with 2 weekends this time around, the 23rd and the 30th, and we're starting off with the biggest new release of September 23rd, and that is, of course, The Magnificent Seven, from the director of Training Day and The Equalizer, Antoine Fuqua, both starring Denzel Washington, who is in this movie, as Fuqua brings his modern version of the classic story with the town of Rose Creek under the deadly control of industrialist Bartholomew Bogue. The desperate townspeople employ protection from 7 outlaws, bounty hunters, gamblers, and hired guns. As they prepare the town for the violent showdown that they know is coming, these 7 mercenaries find themselves fighting for more than money. And like I said, 2 years ago, Antoine Fuqua and Denzel Washington gave us a great movie in The Equalizer, a very flawed but overall fun action film. And I will say that if you like The Equalizer like I did, The Magnificent Seven is about just as good, if not slightly better. This is a really good action movie, a fun movie, the best Western we've had since True Grit, honestly, which really isn't saying a whole lot. I mean, what have we had since then? Cowboys and Aliens? Actually, to be quite fair, we haven't really had that many good Westerns since this movie, honestly. So yeah, this probably is overall the best Western we've had in the last 15 years, unless I'm really forgetting one. Which I probably am, but, you know, I mean, even before that, even before True Grit, it was a good 7 years before there was Open Range, which was the last great Western there. So yeah, like I said, Westerns are really hard to make for good movies overall, but, I don't know. But I know there's one Western I'm probably thinking about that has come out since The Magnificent Seven that I just can't remember off the top of my head, but the point is, this is an enjoyable movie. Let's just get that out of the way. This is an enjoyable movie. Denzel Washington is really good in this. Of course he is. He's Denzel Washington. He's the greatest actor of all time, in my opinion. Maybe not, but he's the greatest actor we have right now. Chris Pratt, Ethan Hawke, Vincent D'Onofrio, Byung-Hun Lee, Haley Bennett, Peter Sarsgaard, Matt Bomer. A really good cast involved in here. The action is really solid. The comedy in here does work very well. The writing is really good here. This was co-written by True Detective creator Nick Pizzolatto, and the writing really does work really well here. The songs overall are really good. This was the last score done by the late, great James Horner, and he ends his long, excellent career on a high note. If there is one... Actually, I'll get to that in just a second, but the visual look of the film overall is really good. Mauro Fiore does a very good job working with this, and, you know, he's worked with Antoine Fuqua in the past. You know, he goes all the way back to Training Day. I mean, this is how good of a cinematographer he really is. The only real complaint I have towards the film is that the villain in general is pretty cartoonishly evil. Peter Sarsgaard can be a good actor, and he does have some good moments in here, but he's just your typical Saturday morning cartoonishly evil supervillain bad guy with no real motivation or reasoning why he's the bad guy. He just wants to be the bad guy, and he just wasn't a good bad guy to play off against the heroes of the film. The heroes really were the better aspects of this movie, no question about it, but yeah, overall, I did really enjoy this movie, about on the same level as The Equalizer. It's a good, fun action Western, and another winner for the duo match of Denzel Washington and director Antoine Fuqua. I thought they both did a very good job with this, as well as everybody else. It's a great movie. It's a really great film. I can't recommend it enough. Seek out The Magnificent Seven if you haven't seen it, So let's go ahead and move on to our next movie, which is the latest film from Warner Brothers, from the studio that brought us the Lego Movie. This is Storks.
It's an image as old as time. A baby swaddled in white, delivered by the stork. How quaint. But you'll find here on Stork Mountain, we take baby delivery seriously. I'm here to finally unveil our new and improved human infant production facility. We have perfected and streamlined the process, devising a zero-mistake workflow, trademark. Using the most cutting-edge technology, coupled with over 75 years of hard-won experience, our new process has been described as perfect, precise, flawless, ideal, immaculate, no problemo, error-proof, too big to fail, the opposite of the Titanic. We work hard, just so you can hear the four most precious words in human language. Goo, goo, gaga. So, when you're looking for baby delivery, you can count on the Stork Delivery Service. Make a plan, stick to the plan, always deliver. What was that? Oh, no.
My bad.
I do love how that trailer makes you think that this is going to be just a movie about, you know, these storks making babies and all that, but as you see from the next trailer that came out afterwards, the plot is literally them abandoning the idea of delivering babies and becoming pretty much an Amazon delivery type of service, not just a baby service, but which does lead into the plot here. Storks deliver babies, or at least they used to. Now they deliver packages for global internet giant Cornerstore.com. Junior, the company's top delivery stork, voiced by Andy Samberg, is about to be promoted when he accidentally activates the baby-making machine, producing an adorable and wholly unauthorized baby girl. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Desperate to deliver the bundle of trouble before the boss gets wise, the boss being played by Kelsey Grammer, Junior and his friend Tulip, voiced by Katie Crown, who you mostly know as a writer on Bob's Burgers, the only human on Stork Mountain, races to make their first ever baby drop in a wild and revealing journey that could make more than one family whole and restore the Stork's true mission in the world. And I gotta say, man, Warner Brothers, they get a bad rap sometimes whenever they try to make their own animated films in modern times, and nobody ever really comes out to see them initially. Like, you know, back in 1996, when they tried to rebrand their animation department with Space Jam, their next movie was Cats Don't Dance. Nobody went to go see it, mostly because Warner Brothers didn't even bother to promote that movie, nor did they really try to promote The Iron Giant. But they really did promote Quest for Camelot, which was their worst movie of that block. I should say. Then, the Powerpuff Girls movie. Bad marketing overall, really good movie. Then they did Happy Feet, got the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. And then they did Legend of the Guardians. Nobody came out to see it, even though it was Zack Snyder's best movie overall. Then they did the Lego Movie, and you thought to yourself, okay, this has to be the point where Warner Brothers has to get it together. I mean, they've got to compete with Disney, Pixar, Blue Sky, DreamWorks, Illuminations in the computer animation game. The Lego Movie was a massive hit, box office hit, critical hit, should have been an Academy Award winner for Best Animated Feature, but of course, nope, not the Academy Awards, no. But, yeah, so they had to get it going here, and this was their first big movie since then. This one certainly is not up to the caliber of the Lego Movie, but that does not mean it's a bad movie at all. It's a really good movie. It is still a really good movie. As part of a very strong year for animated movies, this might very well be the best year for animated movies that I can think of, quite honestly, because, yeah, there were so many winners, very few bad films. Even the bad films were just films that were made with zero effort put into it and were released by Lionsgate, Norm of the North, The Wildlife, you name it. But, then again, Ice Age Continental Drift was also pretty bad too, but Collision Course is saying not Continental Drift. You get the idea, but nevertheless, this is one of the reasons why it was such a good year for animation, because it's a prime example of using the power of animation to your advantage. I wanted Warner Brothers to put out more fun animated films like this, and they did. They eventually put out more films like this. We'll get to their next. It's a couple of other Lego films down the road, as well as Smallfoot, Teen Titans Go to the Movies. Most of their movies overall have been really good since they established the Warner Animation Group. But it was very creative. This movie was. The idea that they go with to tell the story is really good. There is a lot of creativity of how they create the baby simply by using letters, and even the gags involving the wolves, played by Keegan Michael Key and Jordan Peele, turning into different things. Like, it's a very creative movie and very fun to watch. The cast is great. Andy Samberg and Katie Crown do work off each other very well. Kelsey Grammer is great as the bad guy in this. I mean, you have him in that trailer saying these really silly lines, and you can just tell that this guy is such a trooper, and he goes for it, man. Every time he goes on screen, like, I just love how that voice and the animation just feels like if Kelsey Grammer was the voice of Stan Smith from American Dad. I mean, tell me you can't see a Stan Smith-like character in that same position that Kelsey Grammer was in, but Key and Peele were great as the Wolves. Even Ty Burrell and Jennifer Aniston have a pretty good role in this, playing the parents to the main kid character in this, played very well by Anton Starkman. And with every new creative thing they come up with here, the jokes just keep getting funnier and funnier. This is a very funny comedy that's just such a good fun time. This is directed by Doug Sweetland, who did, he's the guy that was behind Presto, that great DreamWorks, that great Pixar animated short that was in front of Wall-E. And, we've been waiting to see what he can do with a feature film, and he gets a chance to do it, and he just knocks it out of the park. And it also helps that you have a good co-director in Nicholas Stoller, who, this is back when he was still a reliable source for entertainment. He did the Neighbors movies. Of course, he did Forgetting Sarah Marshall. He wrote the script for this. It was also produced by Brad Lewis, who did a number of different movies for various companies, such as Ants. He also did Ratatouille. He did How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. He even did the infamous Cars 2 for Pixar. So he has been all over the place. He delivered at least he delivered a winner here. So I do recommend this movie a lot. It's not getting a lot of attention. It wasn't getting a lot of attention back then, and it sadly hasn't gotten as much since then. And I do say sadly because it is such a good, old-fashioned, fun animated movie. The animation is bright and vibrant. The comedy is top-notch. The creativity levels are high. The voice cast and story just works so well. Yeah, it's not up to the same levels as a Lego Movie is, but what movie really is? I mean, Lego Movie is a masterpiece. This does prove that Warner Brothers did have the capacity to create more fun animated films like this. And yeah, they did do that eventually into the future. And it's a good time to talk about these movies because they are films that definitely deserve to be mentioned because sadly they don't get talked about as much. Case in point with this movie here, seek out Storks if you haven't seen it. It's a really, really good movie. Just like our next movie, which is a film that really was not seen by a lot of people. It got kind of dumped into theaters, but nevertheless, it's still a great Disney sports movie starring Lupita Nyong'o and David Oyelowo. This is Queen of Katwe.
Big things from such a small place.
Don't think about such things.
Why not?
You'll be disappointed.
Could you please show Fiona how to move the pieces?
In chess, the small one can become the big one.
You can say anything you
Chess
want.
teaches us to make a plan.
But I'm gonna love you.
Use your minds, and you will all find safety.
Why are you letting her win?
I'm not letting her.
You could be the best in all of Uganda.
God, how can I become a champion?
Sometimes the place you are used to is not the place you belong. Where is that for you?
Checkmate.
Fiona, what is Are you my daughter?
I am.
I fear things will never change.
What matters is when you reset the pieces and play again.
Queen of Katwe, rated PG. Experience the full trailer online.
A commercial that doesn't even tell you when the movie is coming out. It's just like, watch the full trailer online. When's the movie coming out? Tell people. I mean, this thing didn't do well at the box office. It only made $10 million off of its $15 million budget. And let me tell you, it's a shame because, like with Storks, a lot of people missed out on a really, really good movie. I think this is one of the more underrated movies that came out in 2016. And there were a lot of them. So this is a story about, this takes place in the slums of Katwe in Kampala, Uganda. It's a constant struggle for a 10-year-old named Fiona, played by Medina Nawanga, and her family. I'm going to get so many of these names wrong, I just know it. Well, maybe just the one, but her world changes one day when she meets Robert Katendi, played by David Oyelowo, a.k.a. Martin Luther King from Selma, at a missionary program. Katende coaches soccer and teaches children to play chess. Curious, Fiona approaches and learns the game. She becomes fascinated with it and soon becomes a top player under Caton's guidance. Over several years, her success in competition and tournaments lead to greater competitions, stress, and identity issues. Fiona must learn more than the game as she is exposed to life outside of Katwe. Her education, both formally and informally, continues as she develops dreams of escaping a life of poverty herself, her mother, played by Lupita Nyong'o, and her siblings. And yeah, like I said, this is a really good movie, and, this was a near-perfect movie. The acting is great in this movie. Lupita Nyong'o is really good in this, so is David Oyelowo, and the young girl playing Fiona, Medina Nawanga, is really good in this, and I was really hoping she'd get more film work in this, but I really do think because the film didn't do so well, that wasn't the case, and it's a shame, because this young girl had potential as a star in general in this movie. I mean, she really is that good. The cinematography is nicely done. Sean Bobbitt, I think, did a very good job of making Uganda look as good as it does here. But then again, when you have a great director like Mira Nair, that's really not that hard to do. and she does a great job in this. William Wheeler does a very good job with the script, even though it is a little too predictable for a sports drama. They do a good job of giving it its own edge and format to it, where it does make it stand out on its own. It is definitely more of a crowd-pleasing movie on the level of something like a Hidden Figures, which we'll get to later on in the year, and I think the movie should have gotten a lot more attention than I think it did. The acting overall is great, the film looks impressive, the music is nicely done, the story is well told. It's definitely a movie worth checking out, and I'm sure it's out there on Disney+. Seek it out if you haven't seen it, because it is definitely a film that is well worth the watch. Easily. So those are the films of the 23rd. Let's go to September 30th and see the latest film from director Tim Burton, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
Come with me. There's a place I go when I want to be alone.
There's a new world coming, and it's just around the bend. There's a new world coming. This one's coming to an end.
How did you...
It's my peculiarity. If I show you the rest, you have to promise not to run away.
I mean, where else is he supposed to go? What if he says no? What are you going to do? Just drown him to death, pretty much? I mean, I wouldn't put it past her to do that, but, where else do you think she was going to go? But, where else did you think he was going to go? But, this is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and it follows a boy named Jacob, played by Hugo's Asa Butterfield, and of course from Ender's Game as well, who discovers clues to a mystery that spawns different worlds and times. He finds a magical place known as Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. The Miss Peregrine at the forefront is played by Eva Green, but the mystery and danger deepens as he gets to know the residents and learns about their special powers and their powerful enemies. One of them is played by Samuel L. Jackson. Ultimately, Jacob discovers that his own special peculiarity can save his new friends. And this is a really good movie, right up to what you expect from a film by Tim Burton. And I think he does a very good job of creating the atmosphere necessary to bring these books to life. There is a lot of unique looks to the film, and it doesn't go into a lackluster story like most of these style over substance movies do. There actually is merit to this film's beauty and also the writing in general. It comes together very well here, and I think it works because you have such a good cast involved in this. Not just Samuel L. Jackson and Asa Butterfield and Eva Green, but also Crystal Dowd, Allison Janney, Rupert Everett, Terrence Stamp, Ella Purnell, Judi Dench. A phenomenal cast overall. This is a good return to form for Tim Burton, who, I mean, I would say his last movies were bad, but they were kind of mediocre overall. Like, Big Eyes wasn't really the great movie that I think he wanted it to be. This feels like a return to form for what you expect from Tim Burton overall. It's a really good film. I really do recommend it a lot. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children definitely is the one to watch. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our next movie, the latest combination with Mark Wahlberg and director Peter Berg. This is Deepwater Horizon.
Williams is on the Deepwater Horizon.
Critics are raving about Deepwater Horizon. It's masterful, stunning. Mark Wahlberg is excellent.
Trust me, you're not gonna die.
Director Peter Berg cranks up the tension.
They've just confirmed that there's been a fire.
It's a must-see.
Oh my God.
Deepwater Horizon, rated PG-13, in theaters and IMAX September 30th.
Proving once again that when you put these two together, they make for a lot of entertaining movies. Case in point with this film. In April of 2010, there is no oil exploration operation in the Gulf of Mexico to compare with the Deepwater Horizon oil rig with its size or sheer depth of its drilling. However, the project for the BP oil company is beset with technical difficulties to the point where the general operations supervisor, Jimmy Horrell, and his chief electrical officer, Mike Williams, are concerned. Potentially dangerous trouble is brewing. Unfortunately, visiting BP executives, frustrated by the project's long delays, order curtailed site inspections and slanted systems tests to make up for the lost time, even as Harrell, Williams, and his team helplessly protest the sake of proper safety. On April 20th, when the workers' fears are realized in the worst possible way, when the rig's various structural and system flaws spark a catastrophic cascade of failures that would create a massive blowout and explain that explosion that threatens them all, even as it becomes the worst environmental disaster in U.S. history. And as I said, the last time these two worked together, it turned out a really good movie in Lone Survivor. Not a perfect film, but it was still an action-packed and intense war drama, and certainly a vastly better movie than the last thing that Burke directed before that, which was Battleship, which was basically made to get funding for Lone Survivor. So it did work out in the end for him. But Deepwater Horizon is just as good, even a little better, I would say, than Lone Survivor was. It helps that you have an excellent cast involved in this, not just with Wahlberg, but Kate Hudson, who was really good in this movie. And it's great to see her return to form after starring in nothing but crap for so many years, like Raising Helen, Fool's Gold, these really terrible romantic comedies. Just somebody who I felt like deserved a better movies than what she was doing at that point. I thought Kurt Russell was really good in this, too. He's very good here. So is John Malkovich, who's always going to be fun no matter what he's in. Gina Rodriguez is really good in here. This is one of her first movies where she was stepping away from the Jane the Virgin that everyone knew her for, and becoming a really good actress in the long run. Dylan O'Brien is also really good, too, getting a chance to see what he can do outside the Maze Runner movies. Everybody in the movie does a good job of giving an excellent performance, and the performances are really the strongest thing that keeps this film afloat. No pun intended, since this takes place on a rig in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. And the other thing that blows the movie out of the water is the amazing visual effects. That's where a lot of the budget went for this, and it works very well. It looks really cool. It plays well into the drama and the action of when the rig is blown up. It looks authentic for most of the film. There are a couple bits where it looks a little too overly CGI, but they aren't as distracting as you think it would be. The dramatic elements are really good too. There are very few moments where they go over the top with it, but they do a good job with the more dramatic moments. If there is a complaint towards the film, I would say that the script is a little bit too generic. There's times where you feel like they're copying other movies that did this much better. World Trade Center, Captain Phillips, United 93, just to name a few. Much better movies that didn't just rely on the actors to sell a serious story, but regardless, this is still a fantastic movie. It's a film that works because the acting is great, the visuals are great, the dramatic moments are what carry it over. The script could have been better written, probably would have made it one of the best movies of the year, but as it is, it's a competently made, well-made movie. It's a competently made movie. I don't know what's going on with me. I keep adding words that I don't need to add into here, like the, or what I just did there, but I would definitely recommend this movie. Like, if it's on TV, if you pop on FX or TNT in the next couple of years and it's on, definitely give it a watch. It's definitely worth a watch indeed. It's another really good combination with Mark Wahlberg and Peter Berg, so you can't really do any better than that. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to what is easily the worst movie of the week, and thankfully it's our last movie, the latest film from Jared Hess, starring Owen Wilson, Zach Galifianakis, and Kristen Wiig, just to name a few, Masterminds.
To steal $17 million, it's just not a very good one.
What is taking you so long?
Police are calling it one of the largest heists ever.
This is a disguise I made for you.
I look like if Jesus and the cat had a baby.
On September 30th,
17 million this.
I know you're just two good men doing a difficult job.
don't do the crime.
Brace your boobies.
What?
If you can, do the crime. Masterminds, rated PG-13.
And needless to say, no masterminds were involved in the making of this movie. And it definitely shows because, man, this movie fucking sucked, man. Considering that this features many of the cast members from Ghostbusters and everyone hated that movie, here's your alternative here, people. I hope you're happy with it, because I certainly am not. Zach Galifianakis stars as a man who discovers the true meaning of adventure beyond his wildest dreams. He's an uncomplicated man stuck in a monotonous life. Day in and day out, he drives an armored vehicle transporting millions of other people's money with no escape in sight. The only glimmer of excitement is his flirtatious work crush, played by Kristen Wiig, who soon lures him into the scheme of a lifetime, along with a group of half-brained criminals led by Steve Chambers, played by Owen Wilson, and an absurdly faulted heist plan. David manages to the impossible and makes off with $17 million in cash. Only problem is he foolishly hands the money over to the wildest group of double-crossers and has been set up to take the fall. While the bandits blowing the millions on lavish and ridiculous luxuries, they leave behind a glaring trail of evidence. Now on the lam and in over their heads, David must dodge the authorities, evade a hilarious hitman, Mike McKinney, and try to turn the tables on the ones he trusted most. Mike McKinney being played by Jason Sudeikis. I was looking at this and thinking to myself, did I get names wrong? No, I didn't. And not that it really matters in here, because good lord, this movie is so bad. again, wasting an incredible assortment of talents in this movie. Not just Zach Galifianakis, Kristen Wiig, Owen Wilson, Jason Sudeikis, Kate McKinnon, Leslie Jones, Mary Elizabeth Ellis from It's Always Sunny, Kevin Marino, Buzz from Home Alone, Devin Ratray's in this movie because he's on a comeback after Nebraska came out a couple years ago. John Daly's in this movie. One of the writers is Emily Spivey. Emily Spivey, of course, gave us Up All Night and Bless the Hearts. She was also on Saturday Night Live. In fact, Lorne Michaels is one of the producers on this movie. Didn't help the movie in the long run. No, it did not. Because, yeah, this movie is really, really stupid. And not the good kind of stupid like Dumb and Dumber. Except, in fact, Dumb and Dumber was smarter than these people are. Or Harry and Lloyd were smarter than the people involved in this because they knew what to do with all this money without letting anybody know until it was too little too late that they had the money. Like, those guys were smarter than the idiots in this movie. But then again, you wouldn't expect anything less from the wonderful duo of Jared and Jerusha Hess. Jared Hess directed this movie. Of course, this is the same man that just gave us the abomination that was a Minecraft movie. So, yeah. Needless to say, his career is... I don't care if a Minecraft movie was his biggest hit today. His career is on a downward spiral at this point. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. A Minecraft movie still sucks. Suck it. Deal with it. And so does this movie. Really, that's all I got to tell you, man. I mean, this movie is just... It's just not fun, man. There's no fun factor in this whatsoever. It's a lazy comedy. The humor just sucks. The actors are really wasting too much of their goddamn time on this garbage. It's garbage. It's just flat out garbage. I hate it. I don't like it. And, it's not going to be the last time Zach Galifianakis will make a god-awful movie in the next month or so because he has another movie with a great ensemble cast that deserves to be better, but it just isn't. But all a good time. We will get to that one fairly soon. Speaking of notable misfires, we're going to be taking a look at one of the big ones coming up on the next episode of Time About the Movies with one of the best-selling books, one of the most popular books at the time, The Girl on the Train, getting a big screen adaptation, opening up in the Gone Girl window, hoping to have a Gone Girl style success, and boy, does this one fail fucking miserably. We're going to touch on that one next time. We'll also take a look at the really good movie by Nate Parker, The Birth of a Nation, that kind of got screwed over because of Parker's previous past, but still makes for a pretty good movie in the long run, The Birth of a Nation. And then we have another studio trying to copy the success of Diary of a Wimpy Kid by taking another best-selling book and dumbing it down for the kids out there who need a family film to go see in the month of October, even though there's a much better family film out there in Storks or Miss Peregrine. No, middle school, the worst years of my life. Which middle school really were, let's be honest, middle school probably was the worst years of all of our lives when we really think about it, so... But there you go. We'll take a look at those 3 movies coming up tomorrow here on the channel. So with all that said, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and do me the honors of hitting that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button. And also, don't forget to check out our playlist, and don't forget to check out the previous episode up there. And show some respect to the Spill Crew. That's why I did that. So it's been sitting on there all throughout this review. I just realized that. But anyway, with all that said, thank you so much for watching this. I'll see you guys next time. Whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.